Yo guys, welcome to the Brief Podcast with me, Tom and Ben. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks.
And today we've got a Leicester fan who helped City win the league. It's Chris from Leicester Till I Die. How you doing, mate?
I am extremely happy after last night. Sorry, mate, but I am.
We could get into last night. My wounds are still a bit sore. But Ben, how does it feel to be champions of England?
Lovely, obviously, lovely. Well, I know United rotated for fun, which they had to do, but it's still nice to see United lose. So, it's lovely. Yeah, just got. I'm not. Just got to win the Champions League now, but I've not got good feelings for it. So
even after yesterday.
Yeah, I get that because we've. It's not great prep when you lose 2 games within 3 weeks against the team you're going to play in the final. But both times we've rotated for fun.
Yeah.
But it's still it's not great. But I know he's changed the system as well for the last game, which I don't think he'll play. But yeah, still not confident. Doesn't. Fill me with confidence.
I doubt Mendy and Ake will start in the final.
No chance.
So Reece James won't be ripping them apart this next time anyway.
Yeah.
But Chris, obviously you're fighting for top 4. I mean, you kind of brought yourselves into the top 4 battle somehow, even though you're quite far ahead. But
we've been there we're the only team that's been there all season. It was the same last year. We fell out the last day, didn't we? But yeah, out of all these so-called big 6, greedy 6, top 6, whatever you want to call yourselves, we are literally, let's say, the only team that's been in that top 4 since day one.
Yeah. No, like you say, it was the same last season, which is why up until that win against United, it was worrying when you lost to Newcastle, because you did drop out after being there all season last season.
Yeah, it was Newcastle. Don't flip. My wounds are again still open about that one. It was, and I mean last season it was a bit different because we had the COVID break, and that we came back from that, and that's when it kind of went downhill. We couldn't sort of win for toffee after that. But the problem before was, I think we had quite a big points gap to defend. And once that starts being eaten away, then we struggle. I think any team psychologically, like, we got 10 points clear. All right, if we lose one, we're 7 points clear. We're 4 points clear. Where this season, it hasn't been like that. We've never been that far ahead. So we've had to sort of fight more. But, Chelsea last night, sorry to mention it again, but you proved it happened. That's blown it open again. Had you won last night,
we were pretty much confirmed,
I get what Man United did. I mean, I don't think the fans can complain because it was their fault that they've got these 3 games because of they got the Liverpool game cancelled. So it's their own bloody fault at the end of the day. But, Man City were going to win it at some point. It was whether, if they held it off another week, what difference does it make? You were going to win it. Would they sooner lose to Leicester or to Liverpool? Leicester, and we were lucky with the middle game, and I think it was always going to be. I wasn't expecting 10 changes. I've got to be honest with you, but it was always on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, United fans can't really complain because obviously it was a minority of them that ruined it, but it was still United fans who did it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he couldn't really have done much else to make those changes because it's physically.
It showed though the what you said kind of all season, one-man team.
Yeah, I suppose.
But the annoying thing was though, I mean, he made all those changes, and I hate to say a second string team that he put out because at the end of the day, that second string team would probably, if it was playing on its own, still be in the top half of the Premier League. There's some good players in there. But we were struggling in the first half, even against that team. It was in the second half when I think we sort of started to dominate. So yeah, at one point it was, thinking, even Man United obviously wanted us to win the game, and we were even struggling to do that up until half time.
Yeah, no, I think it's like you say, first half the second United 11 held their own, but then second half sort of the lack of game time and lack of match sharpness caught up with them. But it's physically, like you say, it was, they had to make those changes because it's physically not impossible, but very draining if you play the same team. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, it's, I
mean, I'm not making an excuse for the Newcastle game, but if you actually watch that, we look leggy, and we had played 3 games in just over a week, not as often as Man United did, but we played Palace in the first of those games, and they hadn't played for like 10 days, and we'd played 3 days before because of the way the fixtures were. We played Friday and then on a Monday, so you're always going to struggle. Players, I mean, I know we say they're on millions and they should be fit, but I wouldn't want to do that that often.
Human. The frequency of games is ridiculous at times.
Especially when you're in that many competitions and you just...
Well, that's the other thing. You can't complain. You want to be in all these competitions, but the one I don't know, Tom, how you feel about this, because you're in the FA Cup final and Ben isn't. but
who's just won the
Prem? At the end of the season. No, you're in a bigger final, but shouldn't it be at the end of the season?
Well, normally it's the week before the Champions League final, am I right? Normally,
it's always been growing up, and I know it's changing. And I'm probably put your 2 ages together. You're still younger than me, but I can remember the cup final. It's the knockout, and the guy on the bus is travelling to Wembley, but it was always the UK showpiece game. Now, if they're doing that this season, and there's no reason why there's not, because they've got the Europa and the Champions League at the end, we wouldn't have to play we wouldn't have to play United on Tuesday, the final on Saturday, and then you again on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is. It is ridiculous.
I think the reason why, because there has been a couple of times recently where it's been like, there's only been 1 Prem game left of the season when the FA Cup final's been played, but usually it is at the end of the season. I think it's just this season because of the schedule. It's just fallen before the end of the season.
Fit it in, and I know you guys have got the Europa League final, Tom, but they could still fit it in if they wanted, and it'd be better for the fans because a few further weeks on, we can probably get more fans in the ground.
We should have fans for the final, though, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
but not
enough.
Totally, we've got some fans, yes.
Yeah,
which would be Champions League nice. Finals been moved to Porto.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
So there's going to be.
If it was in Wembley,
just stupid.
I understand. It's about the reporters, though. Basically, they were whining about the fact they'd have to isolate for an extended period of time and stuff. So
your heart bleeds, doesn't it?
Because they were thinking about moving it to it's in Portugal, Porto, but they were going to move it to Wembley, but I think it's something like the UK government couldn't give UEFA the guarantees that their stakeholders wouldn't have to quarantine. So we're like, right, we'll move to Portugal then. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame because obviously it'd be nice to go to Wembley because it would mean we win. So Wembley's our second home.
You got 2 English teams and all this. And I'm going to apologise for swearing. Let me try. All this shite that UEFA have said about you guys and your ESL and all this, and it's all about the fans. It was all about the fans. They would be holding that game at Wembley. It's as simple as that. So UEFA, you were talking out of your arse when you were having to go at the clubs for the ESL. I'm sorry, but you were,
Well, it's what I think we said it on our podcast that it's the UEFA the lesser of two evils, basically.
I was very surprised, just to touch on that all you fans were so against it.
I'm a person who quite likes. I know we recently lost to West Brom 5-2.
Yeah,
those kind of games intrigue me. I know we lost, but we just lost 5-2 to relegated West Brom.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a Leicester coming up and doing what we did 5 years ago. Exactly. You wouldn't have a Bournemouth. I mean, I actually, although I'm from Leicester and support Leicester, etc., I actually live just outside Bournemouth. And when I moved down here 10 years ago, I can remember the players, the managers, the directors stood outside the pavilion with buckets collecting money because the club was that much in debt. They'd been docked 19 points in the 4th tier, and then 10 years later, they were in the Premier League. That is what football is all about.
Yeah, it's in the interest of competition. That's why all the fans were so against it.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
Whereabouts outside Bournemouth do you live? Because I actually live in Bournemouth.
You what? Sorry,
I live in Bournemouth. So
I actually live in Poole, Central Poole.
Yeah, I know the place very well.
Yeah. Right. Do you know the Go Outdoors?
Yep.
Yeah, I literally live just behind that.
Oh, fair enough.
Opposite the student block.
My grandparents used to live in Camphor Cliffs.
Oh, posh money, eh? See
nice.
why you're a Chelsea fan now.
Well, actually, my pops, my mum's dad's a Spurs fan. So.
Oh, ouch! Have you been cut out of his will yet?
I hope not. Yeah, no. My mum's side of the family all Spurs, and obviously my dad's side's all Chelsea.
Yeah.
So makes it interesting.
I'm sure it does.
There's going to be 6,000 fans of each team going to Portugal now, isn't there? Something.
Yes, something like that. I think we. To be fair, I think we get more fans in the stadium in Porto. I don't know.
Right.
I might be wrong there.
It's something, but it's still not.
Yeah, it's not something. But also, can I just say we've just played yesterday, which is Wednesday. We play an FA Cup final on Saturday, and then we have Leicester again on Tuesday. Talk about no break after playing City on the weekend.
Yeah. Well, now you know how I felt last month. You remember what I was saying? The frequency of games is ridiculous, and it's changing.
You have the same amount of games as us, you bastard.
What's that?
Yeah, apart from one game, you had the same amount of games as us. And we actually had FA Cup, so...
Yeah, it was still the frequency was ridiculous.
You know, my heart bleeds for you big clubs with all the money and all the players, you big squads that you've got. It really does.
Yeah, no, it's been really tough for us lately.
But in fairness, it has been for every single... It's just been one of those seasons. Like you say, you know, we've played players that this time last year I'd never heard of. I mean, I don't know if you saw the first goal that we got against United. Young Luke Thomas. I mean, what a goal! I mean, and he's possibly going to be Chilwell's replacement moving forward. Last year, I've never heard of him. He's played in Europe. He scored a goal in Europe. He scored that goal. I mean, the confidence of a 19-year-old who's hardly played to shout Jamie Vardy to leave the ball for him, and then do that. But. We've learned a lot this year with our youngsters. We've had to because we haven't got the sort of squad, and no disrespect, we haven't got the squads that you guys have got. So we've had to learn a lot about our young players. But with the academy we've got, with the money that's been put in there, and let's be honest with you, we haven't got, as I say, we've got rich owners, I'm not going to deny it, but they're not in the bracket that your two owners are. And their industry is the travel business, which has been hit So we probably will make signings, but not what you would in a normal season. But I think that's possibly the same for a lot of clubs because the money's not been there this year. So I think youth coming through for us means we'll possibly have to go and buy. We've got some great young players coming through.
Well, what do you think of Iheanacho's recent uptake in goals, let's say?
Do you know what? When I used to work with a Man City fan, and when we bought him, I was like orgasmic. I thought, this is brilliant. Him and Vardy running at the defences. We're going to scare the defences, shitless, and it just didn't work out for him. But how can you drop Jamie Vardy? You can't. So, but if Jamie Vardy gets injured, or he's not having maybe a brilliant game, Inacho was coming on, but he was only coming on for 10, 20 minutes. And when he got a chance in, say, a cup game, and he scored a lot of goals in sort of the cups, that's where he was getting his chance. He was never then being picked for the league team. So he was never getting a run of games. We then had our number 9, if you like. We got 3 players that could play that position: Maddison, Perez, and Pratt, and they were all injured at the same time. So Brendan had to jiggle his squad around. Not many teams play with 2 up front these days, and there's about 3 of us that do it now, and it just kind of clicked. And Inacho, and then you couldn't drop Inacho, and he was on such a good run of form, but he was playing regularly, and he's a bloody goal machine now. He is. I mean, we were talking at the start of the season, who would we be getting in? Because I mean, Jamie Vardy's probably got 1 more season in him as a regular, and I think after that he'll then become a super sub of coming on for the last 10, 15 minutes when defenses are knackered. But at the start of the season, the question that we were asking ourselves was, who are we going to buy to replace Jamie Vardy? Now we are saying, same thing, but a different way. Who are we going to buy to partner Inacho? I mean, I know there's all these rumours that City wanted him back, and I don't believe any of those for a minute. But, he literally is like, yeah, and I've criticised him. But I've also, I've got the stomach I've got now because of the amount of humble pie I've been eating for these last few weeks. It's one of those weird situations where Brendan Rodgers did what he had to do rather than what he wanted to do, but it just clicked. Vardy hasn't scored. He scored 1 in 10, 11 games, something like that. But my God, he's providing. He's turned into the master provider now, and thank you, Ben.
Yeah, the only reason we let him go is because we had Aguero and Jesus, so we didn't have the room for him really. Yeah. But he's a better finisher than Jesus by far.
Doesn't really get credit for. And I think as a striker, you're judged on your goals, literally nothing else from a fan's point of view. And if Jamie Vardy had sort of, he's gone all these games without scoring, he doesn't get any criticism at all. They just touch, ball down, and turn, and it's literally. And I mean, he's playing with confidence now. Because he's getting the goals, but it is a pleasure to watch him.
I know another player with a fantastic first touch, Riyad Mahrez. He just seems to kill it every time he gets the ball. Very rare he makes a bad touch.
I'm torn with Riyad Mahrez because I'd have his children, to be honest with you, because he got us that. He was one of the squad that won the league for. And because after we won the league, Kante couldn't wait to get out of the club and defect to Chelsea. Mahrez, at least he signed a new contract with a sellout clause, and then gave us a year in the Champions League, and we did as well as we did in the Champions League again for him. Why I'm not so happy with him is the things he said since. He went on strike. He was sat in, Manchester Airport waiting for a plane on transfer deadline day in case an offer came in. And he probably cost us quite a few points that season because he wasn't playing, because he didn't want to be there. And that kind of has soured it a little bit. Yeah. But, my God, the guy has got a given talent,
I mean, he's been one of our most important players, especially in this Champions League run.
But it took a while, didn't he? Because he wasn't when he first came,
Took a season to settle in. But I mean, it seems that it's happened with a couple of players like Cancelo took a season to settle in. Mahrez took a season to settle in. So it's nice to see him doing it now. But yeah, like you say, I mean, Sane. I mean, obviously he's gone now. He took a season to settle in, so it seems to be like they take a season to sort of get used to the way Pep wants to play.
Well, they have to, and they're coming. The foreign players that are coming to teams in the UK as well. I mean, I know Mahrez, that he'd been with us first, sort of thing. But you know, I'm a lot older than you, and I can remember a certain player called Kevin Keegan, and he went from Scunthorpe to Liverpool. And I think it was 6 months before he saw the first team. Because he was now you're thrown in. I mean, you know, let me give you that Wesley Fofana. I mean, what a buy he has been.
Buy the season, possibly.
No way. Buy of the season.
Yeah.
It's difficult because we've got a couple up there, but he's up there for player of the season. But the thing you've got is with him, he was never expected to play as many games as he did. He was going to come in, go into the development squad, and you know, develop basically him. And he's like 20 now. He's 20 going on 27. The guy is absolutely amazing. But we weren't expecting him for that to happen in his first season.
Yeah.
So Danya, you know, he settled in it, and he's up there for buy of the season as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean. You got the squad likes, you know.
We have. I think we quality. We only just got rid of him, but you know, bless him. But go out and say, right, I've got these youngsters that are coming through, so I'm all right on that position. I'm all right on the. I'm not going to go out and buy 5 players, but I'm going to go out and get 2 really good ones that we really need. And it is all about that because, you know, we know we've got the youngsters coming through. Dewsbury Hall out, you know, he's won everything he's going at Luton on loan this season. He's going to be great, you know. And we get Harvey Barnes back and James Justin. Yeah, it doesn't actually sound so bad.
It's like we've not got squad user yet. Like, I mean, obviously not quite, but
we haven't got like an Aguero on the bench.
No,
though.
we still got a cracking squad.
Yeah, no,
you know, we won that Man United game. You know, we brought on Mark Albrighton. They brought on Cavani and Rashford. And you're like, that's the difference. That is the difference.
Yeah. Sorry, my camera's off. My Wi-Fi's been a bit funny, so I'm trying to make it less. What's the word? Like, I have to run as high, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So
no, I was going to say though about your injuries. Some of the players you've got coming back are quality. Justin, I thought was fantastic at the start of the season. Harvey Barnes especially as well. English as well. Both of them, aren't they?
Those 2 are big misses for us. I mean, Barnes probably kept Puel in his job longer than he should have done because it was Puel who brought him back from West Brom because he was on loan there. And he's just developed and you know, when he first came back, he was struggling to hit a barn amazing. And Justin, again, youngster bought from Luton, played a few games last season, but this season was absolutely brilliant until they got injured. And at the start of the season, like I say, we had a really, really bad injury list.
Sorry,
you got some Leicester old boys coming back as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully Jorginho doesn't start. That's the main thing for me. Absolutely. On Saturday, I'd rather. Well, if Kovacic was available, I don't know if he will be for the final. Tuchel said he is, but we don't know. Kovacic and Kante as the 2 sixes would be miles, 1,000 million times better than Jorginho Kante. The goal yesterday was horrendous.
I love the fact that Arsenal nearly missed it, though.
I know, yeah.
I was on an Arsenal fan chat watching it along, I went, how the hell did he nearly, they were going mad because he'd scored. I went, you do realise it went in off the post.
Yeah. A goal's a goal, though. A goal's a goal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They had they had 8 touches in total in our box, 3 of which were for the goal.
Wow.
There's only one stat that matters, and that's the fact that there was 1 goal.
Yeah. With their XG was, I think, 0.58. Ours was 1.67, and we didn't score. It was unbelievable.
I love Arsenal at the moment. You won't get me knocking Arsenal today.
Is that because you're still third?
Yes. Yeah. I was literally as I had my red Leicester top on, and I literally was cheering for Arsenal. Yes, as I will be for Man United tonight.
Same. I will definitely be cheering for Man United tonight. To be fair,
yes.
Much to Fab's disappointment.
I think everybody seems to be saying though the top 4 is going to be pretty much as it is now, whether in that order or not. But those 4 teams.
If Chelsea and Leicester pick up like a win or a couple of wins or something, then or a win and a draw. I mean, you only need 4 points, so it's
and that is presuming that the other teams will, like West Ham, will win all their games. There's no guarantee.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. We needed that win today, though.
But, I mean, it's in your hands, basically.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always in our hands or the players' hands. It's just whether or not they perform is a different story.
Mm. Yeah.
That's been the story of the season, though, hasn't it? I always say, will the real Leicester please stand up? Because, we can play like Brazil 1 minute and, put 3 past Man United, and next week we can play like Rochdale, no disrespect to them, but that's the sort of season it's been.
Do you think that's depth?
Do you reckon in terms of your squad? But it's not like it's the same full strength team. I think you're talking about, and they just the bit inconsistent sort of thing.
Yeah, could it be that the changes and injuries? You haven't got quite the bench to bring on, and people can get quite leggy and stuff.
I mean, sometimes I love Rodgers to bits, and he's not going anywhere in the short term. He will long term. We know that. It's but at the moment, there's no reason to want to leave. But
Leicester are the most. I mean, we were talking just when you went off then, Tom, and it was like he's been linked with like the Tottenham job and stuff. It's like I don't see why he would leave Leicester, because if say he was a free agent now and he was looking at Leicester, Tottenham, and let's say Arsenal because you're saying you're on an Arsenal podcast and they were talking about maybe Brendan Rodgers could come in. Look at that, and Leicester are the most appealing club out of those. So I don't see why he would leave. Like the squad is probably is better than Arsenal probably. I mean, obviously Arsenal have got some decent youngsters and stuff. Tottenham have got a good squad, but
not with Kane leaving to Chelsea in the summer.
Is he actually?
I've heard he's coming to Leicester for Champions League football. I said, I put that up in the Spurs podcast the other day. No, like I was saying to you, Ben, and I've been on in the break. I've been on an Arsenal podcast recently and a Spurs one about, they're both talking about Brendan Rodgers and would he go there? I mean, like I say, when he came to Leicester, it was very controversial because he left Celtic 10 games to go and they could go on for the treble. But what he did was he learned so much about his squad from those 10 Premier League games than he would have ever learned from 3 or 4 pre-season games against lower division teams. So he made, I think, totally the right decision for his future job. He's got something to prove because, yes, he's done it with Celtic, but, any one of the 3 of us would go up to Scotland and get Celtic to at least second, and a lot of what he was winning was when Rangers were in their tier 3 and what have you, because they were, dumped down. He didn't quite do it with Liverpool, so he's got something to prove in this division. And I think by going to Leicester, if he can make Leicester a regular top 4 team or top 5 team over 3 or 4 seasons, his worth is going to be unbelievable. He's not going to jump ship now. couple of reasons, because he's already jumped ship at Celtic and he doesn't want to get that reputation of, leaving somewhere all the time. And B, like you said then, Ben, why would he? He's got one of the best training facilities in England, if not Europe, if not the world. I mean, £100 million our training facilities cost. We've got a 9-hole golf course next to the training facilities. Whether that's to get Gareth Bale in there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But you've got that, right? He's got a huge squad of youngsters that will develop through then. And we said earlier about how good they were. He's got a good squad, that he's got. He's got the backing of the owners. He gets on well with our owners. I mean, he's only just come over because of the COVID, but he was home for the Newcastle game. But when our owners are here, and they come over regularly for the games, they're here for most home games, and they're down the training pitch every time that they are here every day, talking to the manager. When was the last time Kroenke was down at the Arsenal training ground?
Oh, never.
I can't say for, your two guys, but I would think not that often.
It's a bit difficult for Abramovich not being allowed in the country.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but before that. All right, clever clogs, But...
Ours is so the main owner is Sheikh Mansour.
Yeah.
Then it's Khaldoun Al Mubarak, who's the chairman, who's like the go-between, and he's the one who talks to Pep all the time and stuff.
But you get my point, though, don't you?
Yeah, no. You don't see the Glazers and Kroenke coming down.
No, you don't. And that's why, like I say, if he's offered more, somebody said, money talks. Yes, it does. Of course it does. We've seen that with players. We've seen that with managers before. But he's going to give up one hell of a good job there. Like I say, if he can get Leicester to be top 4 or 5 for 4 or 5 seasons on the trot, Leicester, 5 years ago, we were nearly relegated. And we're doing, we won that, which was possibly going to be a one-off when we won it. But to get us into that position, like I say, his star is just going to be, he's not going to have Arsenal and Tottenham queuing up for him. He's going to be having like PSG and Real Madrid.
That'd be interesting. Like you're saying, Leicester are a top 14 now.
Well, I mean, we joke with Cam, our resident Arsenal fan, about the fact that Leicester are in the top 6 now, not Arsenal. They're the top 6 club, not Arsenal. So,
yeah. Like I said, I just see no reason why he would want. And he said, he said, I think his quote was, "It's on repeat. I am happy here."
Yeah. Well, he's come out and said he doesn't want to go to Spurs, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Well, they fell out a long time ago as well, didn't they? So there's some bad feeling between him and Levy. But would you want to go and work for Levy or Kroenke or any of those? No.
No. Straight answer, no.
Exactly, So he will eventually leave. Of course he will, Football is, it's like all the birds on the perches, the big one shits on the, the robe underneath. And, we know that we're not a Real Madrid, like Man United lose their players to Real Madrid. We're not, and it is that hierarchy. So he will move on eventually. But, the longer he stays and as good as he can do with Leicester, I think the better job he will get afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Should we?
I
was just going to say, so I remember I saw the highlights of the Chelsea-Arsenal game, and there was that chance that he tipped it onto the bar and then Giroud hit the bar or something. I bet you were seething.
Yeah, we hit the bar twice in 1 second.
Yeah, we absolutely fuming for that.
Oh, I wasn't very happy. It was when the fact that in the replay you actually see that Leno got a touch on Zuma's header is the annoying part, because it was an unbelievable header, saved onto the crossbar, and then Giroud hits the crossbar straight away. It's like it was one. You could say it was one of those days, but obviously Tuchel said it was on us. I mean, Havertz missed a one-on-one, easy one-on-one as well, just before the goal. and that's just a different game. A goal doesn't happen. They don't sit back like they did. I mean, they had 11 men behind the ball pretty much the entire game.
Yeah.
So
should we talk about the City Chelsea game? I still have open.
Oh, that was Brendan ringing me.
I still have open wounds about that, but they've healed a little bit.
Healed a little bit, have they? You went a little bit quiet on chats when City lost to Chelsea.
I think our last 2 home games have lost to a goal in the 90th minute, and it's the worst. I mean, it's already bad losing a game, but it's the worst possible way to lose a game with a last minute goal.
But it's also the most amazing way to beat City.
Oh, it's an amazing way to win a game, obviously, but it was absolutely awful. And, I mean, yeah, he rotated and changed the system, which.
So did we. We didn't change the system, though, did we?
Yeah, but like you were playing a stronger. You're more of your starting 11 than we were.
Oh, Billy G was tearing up your midfield.
I mean, I was gonna say most of yours were probably starters except Billy Gilmore.
Yeah,
like ours was. I mean, a total rotation.
I thought it was a bit harsh to bring off Gilmore yesterday. I understand why he did it.
I saw a tweet saying. I think it was one of the journalists, football journalists, like it was strange Tuchel bringing off Gilmore. He thinks he's good, like, because he was actually the best player in the pitch. I think that's one that Gilmore got wrong. Tuchel got wrong or something.
No, yeah, I thought he was way better than Jorginho was. Miles better defensively, offensively, getting around the pitch more, movement. I mean. I said this yesterday. Jorginho's slower than my nan, and that's an issue because my nan has had 3 hip replacements. So the fact that he's not built for the Premier League, and I've seen a couple of Chelsea fans try and defend him, but I've said for a long time he's had a bit of a revitalisation under Tuchel, but everyone's had a bit of a revitalisation under Tuchel, and. I mean, yesterday, it just kind of highlighted the point of when we don't have Kante in that midfield or Kovacic. I don't know. I mean, we went 1-0 up and then Aguero decided he was going to do an absolute stinker. We should have put the game to bed before that and after that, though. I can't believe our chances we missed.
We could have been 2-0 up, you see.
I know, and after that as well, we could have put it 3-4.
Yeah, but yeah, we did rotate and he changed the system, but it was still awful.
I remember your message straight after the game was, "It's done.
Yeah,
we've lost the Champions League already."
Like, I mean, I'm still not confident. I'm still not. Yeah, I'm not. I've got a bad, not bad feeling, but like, I'm not looking forward to it.
If you had to call Chris right now, who's winning the Champions League final? If you had to say one team,
I'm going to be honest with you. My head says one thing, my heart says another.
What is your head?
My head says it's Man City.
Yeah,
simply because of the way they're playing, I mean, and the fact that we beat them 5-2 at the start of the season, I just thought I'd throw that in, for
every time.
Of course, that the 5-3 against Man United, it's never going to go away, My heart, in a way, wants Chelsea because I think if Chelsea are going to win it, it might mean that they've taken their eyes off the cup final and the league. And they might sort of, got the mindset on the Champions League final. Chelsea obviously have won it in the past, which obviously was great because he sacked your manager straight after. But Man City have never won it. If Pep wins it, will he stay at Man City?
I think we probably leave at the end of his contract. So I think he's got one more season.
Yeah. I think that's the thing because, like the saying goes, my work here is done. That's the one thing. It's the one thing City haven't won. And let's be honest with you, the league's won. you can do a Man United and put out, your cleaning ladies for the next 3 games if you wanted to. It doesn't matter.
I think it's a balancing act because you don't want to injure those important players, but you don't want them to go into it cold.
No, I know. So I'm kind of, in all seriousness, and I don't think the heart thing will work because the professional footballer. So I'm sorry, Tom, but I think it's going to be Man City.
It's weird though that it's such a. If you'd thought a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago, Chelsea, City, in the FA Cup in the Champions League final, we wouldn't even think about it. You'd think City would win that easy.
Well, you wouldn't think that Chelsea or City would be in it.
You think City could be in it, but
yeah.
It's quite. I have to put massive props to Tuchel for the fact that he's changed us massively. I mean,
Tuchel has changed you round. I mean, we beat you. I think it was we have a habit of playing Chelsea managers and getting them the sack. I don't know. I think we might have done with Lampard. I'm not sure on the timing, but we beat you 2-0, and it was one of those games when we were Brazil-like. But I think that might have been more sort of Chelsea under Lampard. What had Tuchel, or Tuchel, however you pronounce it, Tuchel, had he been there since the start of the season, Chelsea, I think, would have been up there fighting with you for the title.
Possibly, yeah.
Mm.
And that's no disrespect to Frank. I like Frank, and Chelsea are what Chelsea are. They just go through managers, and I can't really have a go at you for doing that because after we sacked Ranieri, we got rid of Shakespeare very quickly, and some others as well. So we've done the same, but I just managers aren't given a chance these days. Let's face it. You win the Champions League, and the owner still gets rid of you. What chance do you stand?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not filled with confidence for the final, to be honest. But,
really?
No, because it's typical City. We'll make it more difficult than it has to be for ourselves. That's the saying, anyway. I mean, I'd love it if we won it easy, but I can't see it.
As a neutral, I'm actually going to watch it. Because I got BT Sports this year, which I don't normally have. But normally I don't give a damn. If Real Madrid are playing Barcelona or whatever, or Bayern Munich are playing Atletico Madrid, I wouldn't be bothered. But the fact that it is, I like to see English teams do well in Europe. Because it's English at the end of the day. But yeah, it's from a neutral's point of view, it's going to be, it's nice to see you both there.
Yeah. I would love it for it to be an easy ride, but I just know it's not going to be.
You sounded a bit like Kevin Keegan then. I love it.
I would love it if we beat them. I would love it. I'll say it this way. I would like it to be an easy ride, but I know it's not going to be. And I would like us to win easy, but it's not going to be an easy win. So it's For a small fee, Ben, we can maybe break a few legs on Saturday for you. Yeah. I'll just call it Brendan.
Yes, yeah.
No, that's not happening. But yeah, I was going to say that game. I mean, I saw that there was a meme of Aguero, and it's like, that I think it's the quote from is it Batman or something, where it's like you either leave as a legend or something, or live long enough to die a legend, or live long enough to become the villain. And I mean, like Aguero can never be the villain for City for what he's done and what he did, but he did have an absolute stinker with that penalty.
We got bailed out for the first goal as well.
Pardon?
Got bailed out by Sterling for the first goal as well.
Yeah. But yeah,
we had a player once, Jan Kermer-Grant. And he went to Bournemouth for a while afterwards, and we were in the playoff final. Was it playoff semi-final? It was in a really big, important game. I think it was a playoff semi, and he did one of those penalties and missed.
Right,
And
right.
He
Yeah, well,
wasn't with us long after that, to be honest with you. But then he was no Aguero.
I mean, Lineker did one of them to equal Charlton's record and missed it, didn't he? So,
when they come off, yes, okay, but don't do it when it's in fairness, I think you won the game. Did you win the game? Do you want to win the game anyway?
no, Chelsea.
Yeah. But there's times and places, and as fans, it's frustrating. When they go in, they're absolutely brilliant. But
when the game is, if you win the game, you win the title, then you shouldn't be doing that, really.
No, unless you're Pirlo.
Unless you're Pirlo, yeah, he's a master, isn't he? And Ramos is a master of them.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it was it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not great.
It doesn't matter now. You've won it anyway, haven't you?
I mean, in terms of the Champions League, it's not great losing to the people you're going to play in the final. But like I said, we did rotate and he did change the system, which I think, I mean, in part, I think it was so he didn't play the team that was going to play in the Champions League final, so Tuchel couldn't have a look what he can do and stuff like that. But I mean, I think he's just going to play the team that played against PSG, to be honest, because that's obviously our best team at the moment. But I mean, I think he didn't play that team to shield them from, if they had won that game, if he played full strength team and they won that game, then he might get ahead themselves and psychologically they switch off a bit for the final. But then if they lose that game, then psychologically Chelsea have got one over us. If you play in your full strength team in that game, then you go into that game switched off as well. So by not playing your full strength team in that game, you kind of avoid that. But
fair enough.
That sounds a bit like me grasping at straws a little bit there. I'm looking to the FA Cup final and saying we've just beaten Man United and Chelsea have just lost to Arsenal, and Chelsea, Arsenal, they're huge rivals.
Yeah.
And,
I think
it is desperate. It's desperate measures.
No, I think, and obviously, I think there's a difference between beating a B team, United team, and
they were squad players, mate. They were squad players.
Still a B team, but
they gave you the title. Don't knock it.
No. I love it. Thank you very much. But then there's because that's not going to affect United's first team players when they play Liverpool tonight. Like, I know it's a squad and all that, but different.
I don't know, Tom. It sounds like he's grasping at straws to me.
So Tom, when you rotated last night, your players going to be completely knocks your first 11 for the final?
Oh no, we're going to smash Leicester.
Right, there you go then. So I have to respectfully disagree.
We played our first 11 against Man United, so they'll be all fit and raring to go.
Yeah, but
you got a day's rest as well. Extra day's rest.
Yeah. We'll have that.
I think there is a bit of mind games going on there anyway. But yeah.
Well, did you see? I saw a tactical analysis of the first half, and oh my gosh, was it a tactical battle? Apparently, they were showing whenever one manager changed something, the other manager changed something straight away to counter it, and it was just it was like every 5-10 minutes, one manager changed something, and then the other manager completely tried to counter it.
I think Pep also he matched Chelsea up by playing three at the back, which is the change we're talking about. I think he was doing that as well to test to see if he should do that in the final, which I don't think he will after that.
No, I don't think he will either.
But this is what I'm talking. What I mean by sort of, like you say, Mendy's not going to play, Ake is not going to play. A lot of those players, Aguero's not going to play, Jesus is not going to play. So, that loss is not going to affect. So hopefully, not going to affect the first team players psychologically.
How is that not? How have you said that list and not one of them will start at the Champions League final?
I don't know, but yeah.
As a neutral, we absolutely hated Man City. You had one job to beat Chelsea for us. keep them below us, and you couldn't do it.
Well, Arsenal did it for you, so
Yeah.
and then you did us a favour, so it's all good. But yeah,
I hope you are going to give the respect to Soyuncu that we give to Hazard. For, doing the save for us a few years ago.
He's a very good player, Sonch. He's been a bit flat lately, but
well, I mean, he was out. He's because of Fofana. He was one of your best centre backs last season, but because of Fofana, he wasn't in the starting 11 for a bit.
Well, he was injured. In fairness,
injured well,
yeah, he was injured.
Okay.
I mean, at the start of the season, we had 3 of our back 4 on the treatment table. Like I say, you wouldn't have known that because Brendan Rodgers isn't Jurgen Klopp and doesn't moan about it. But he had a horrendous game against Newcastle.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Trying to be Pele and giving the ball away, but we're having actually a lot of players, and again, this is I think the same for a lot of clubs. Is the formations, because of players being injured, formations are being changed. And Brendan is still trying to, I think, impose his style on Leicester. But he does like the back 3. But when I say a back 3, it's a back 5 when we've not got the ball and we're defending. But it's a back 3 when we've got the ball, and so it's very fluid and it changes throughout the game.
Yeah, that's exactly like our formation.
Yeah,
a bit like Chelsea's formation, where they've got 3 at the back when you're attacking, and then 7 at the back when you're defending.
7, bloody hell!
It's just a double-decker bus, isn't it?
So three centre backs, your 2 wing backs tuck in, and your 2 holding midfielders drop in. That's 7 players.
And
There you go. Well, I mean, it's not quite Jose Mourinho. Let's put it that way.
no, it's not quite.
It is a lot more attacking than. But I thought I'd just poke for fun.
Just poke fun. Fair enough. Well, yesterday, Chris did his first prediction on our Twitter predictions. Got a point straight away.
Oh,
Can I say? I also predicted that exactly on the. I do predict. It's funny you should mention this. I don't talk about this much. He says, but no, I do a prediction league with like 3 ex-players.
Okay.
On the website, and I'm actually 9 points ahead of the nearest one, so I'm not too bad at it. But yes, it was. I got the 2-1 for United against United.
Fair enough. Well, unfortunately, we only do Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal games for our predictions because otherwise I'd be way too busy doing that. But Kieran's on 14 points on our leaderboard. Who's actually helped start this channel at first. Cam's on 12. Ben's on 11. Cam's from the Arsenal fan from the Purple Show. So he got a little way to go before the end of the season.
Hey, come on, we've still got a couple of games left yet. Don't write me off yet, mate.
All 4 teams have got like 3-4 games left, so
the Euros counts as well. So
I mean, you invite me in, I come in for 1 game, I get it spot on. You should be afraid.
Yeah. How many points you on, Tom?
I'm on 9.
He's coming for you.
Yeah, Ben, you're on a 10, not 11, actually.
Why not 11?
Because I misread it.
Why'd you give me false hope?
Because I don't know. Because I'm dyslexic and I misread the 10.
Oh, what?
No, yeah, you're on 10. I've put first place in gold, second place in silver, and third place in bronze. And the bronze doesn't make the black text particularly clear.
Oh, I see. I thought it was all to do with words.
No, I mean dyslexia is to do with words. I'm just making excuses.
Oh, I see.
But do you want to do your live prediction for Manchester United versus Liverpool later, Chris?
Okay. I want a Man United win so badly for obvious reasons. So I'm going to have to go for United win. Liverpool have been a hard It's been hard to predict all season, really, these games, haven't they? Because there's been some weird games. I'm going to go 2-1 to Man United.
All right. 2-1 Manchester United. Ben, what's your score prediction?
I, being a City fan, I don't want United to win under any circumstances in any game. But I like that's just the City fan in me. But I think it'll probably be a draw. I think it'll probably be 1-1. I think
1-1. All right. I'm going to go 1-0 United. Boring game. Boring game. That's what I'm thinking.
It wasn't the most exciting game last night. Let's be honest with you, was it?
Crossbar hit twice. Leno made some fantastic saves. Pretty interesting.
It's Chelsea all over them, right?
Very interesting. I mean, Jorginho passed it into the net pretty much. I mean, can't ask much more for that from entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Do you realise that is I did say last night on the Arsenal channel that is their highlights video for the season.
Oh yeah,
that one goal.
Yeah, they were celebrating like they won the Premier League.
They did the double. They done the double over here, haven't they?
Cheers, Ben.
Yeah, do you not remember though when we lost 3 games when we won the Premier League, and 2 of those were to Arsenal. And when they beat us the second time, they did that famous picture in the changing rooms where they're all celebrating like they'd won the league.
Yeah,
it's Arsenal. They just don't have much to celebrate these days.
The first time they've done the double over Chelsea since like 01-02, and then the first time won it away at Chelsea since like
2012. Since the last time we won the Champions League.
Whoa! Actually,
Chelsea on a bad run though. Hopefully,
2011.
There's quite a few things that are linking up with 2012. Torres bought for 50 million, couldn't score, scores in the Champions League semi-final. Werner bought for 50 million, couldn't score, scores in the Champions League semi-final. Arsenal, last time they won at the Bridge, 2012.
Was it actually 2012?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's all coming together. The stars are aligning.
Yeah, no, it does seem a bit of a
somebody else grasped him at the straw.
We beat a Spanish club in the semi-final to get into the final.
Too many parallels for comfort, really. This is another reason why I'm not confident at all.
It sounds like neither of you really both grasping at straws. You know?
We're the underdogs. 2012.
Can I ask Ben a question then?
Yeah.
Because you're the neutral one here for Saturday, and I know it's not part of your prediction league. Who do you think will win the FA Cup? And then who do you think will win it, and who do you want to win it?
We did do predictions earlier in the season, and yours was Spurs.
Yeah. I just thought Tottenham would win something with Mourinho, but
Spurs winning something, that's a dream.
Well, they were top of the league for 2 hours.
But Mourinho he's I mean, every club he's been at, he's won something, hasn't he? Even though it's Tottenham, but yeah, whatever. I think Chelsea win it, but my heart wants Leicester to win it just because it's Tom. Nah.
That's a good enough reason.
Yeah, that's definitely a good enough reason.
Just like I don't know.
I think I said to Tom before we came live, come on, you've got a Champions League final. I'll support you for that if you let us win the FA Cup. We've been in it 4 times. We've never won it. You were there last year. Come on, just give us a break here. But he wasn't.
We can't lose 2 FA Cup finals in a row now, can we?
Well, I'd be worried then if I was you.
But yeah, it's a bit like, I guess, if City were what game was it? I forget what it was now. It was a game for top 4. What was it? Because you really wanted the team.
Leicester Man United.
I've not forgotten what it was now, but it's like you really wanted the other team to win, not City, not Chelsea, but it was a game that was good for Chelsea for top 4 or something.
Well, what, when Leicester lost to Newcastle?
Oh no! I mean, it was a game involving City. I've forgotten now.
Recently.
No, a few months ago now, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that I'm not gonna remember that. Sorry, mate. Should we get into the questions? The history of questions that we always ask our guests who are a fan of a specific club.
Yep.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, can't wait. did I sound enthusiastic there?
I'm trying. What was your first game, Chris?
Bloody hell. Right. Okay, then. In fact, the funny thing was, just before I came on live, I was actually speaking to an ex-player, and we actually talked about the game. And it was, I can't remember the exact year unless I get the details up, but I didn't come from a footballing family, so I was never my dad never took me to games, etc. So first game I went to was a pre-season friendly, and the team then were called Red Star Belgrade. Who, whether you remember them, but pretty much they were Yugoslavian, and they were very, very good in Europe. They always did well, one of the top European teams. And it was the year that Nottingham Forest were European champions. God, it always hurts to say that, even now. But they'd actually beaten Nottingham Forest in the friendly, came to Leicester, and I think we won 3-0 or something like that. And that was the first game, and I was hooked.
That must have been quite a good first game.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean, you see a good European side, and you win. There's not a lot more you can ask for, really.
No, definitely not. Oh, but you're back, Ben.
What was your favourite ever game?
Sorry?
What was your favourite ever game?
My favourite game? Okay.
Do live and on TV.
Okay, we'll do live first because there's probably two. One was Leicester Tranmere in the League Cup final at Wembley because I was there, and to watch the team win at Wembley, whatever club you support, is great. More probably so than that is we beat Man United 5-3 in our first season back in the Premier League. The whole season went tits up after that, but that was a great game. I collapsed because everybody was cheering. I collapsed on this woman's next to my lap. I don't know who she was, but never saw her again. But it was just the most amazing game. I was with my son, so I could share it with my son, and it was just a fantastic, to come back and us be the new team in the division. Yeah, it was amazing. I suppose on telly, it would be Seville away in the Champions League.
Ooh.
And we did that. And obviously got us through to the quarterfinals when a certain Arsenal manager said we were going to embarrass them, England in Europe. And we were the last team in the Champions League, if I remember then.
That season, yeah.
Chelsea and Man City fans.
You were. I remember that. I remember that. That was... You did England proud.
I think we did, yes. Yeah.
Certainly. But this is often a tough one for our guests. In your opinion, what are the best ever best five players to have played for Leicester?
Oof. Okay, top in no particular order.
Yeah, no particular order.
That makes it a bit easier. Okay, let's start with Keith Weller. You guys are probably going to sit there and go, who?
Yep.
He was. He actually won. It was only on ITV4 the other week when they do the match of the day or whatever, the big match retro, and he got goal of the decade.
Okay.
He's oft to remember for the fact that he wore white tights in a game. And the rumour was that his wife found these white tights in his car, and he had to say that it was we wore them in the game because he was cold because we had white shorts at the time. I'm sure there may have been some other reason, but we allegedly, but no, he was Had he been playing for a bigger club at the time, he would have been an England regular. But of course, in those days, playing for Leicester didn't get you anywhere. From the same era, Frank Worthington, who sadly has just passed away within the last month. So he could have gone to Liverpool. He failed the medical, and Liverpool were rumming and ahhing, and he came to Leicester. And under those, Jimmy Bloomfield, who was the manager at the time, under his years, we never won anything, but we played some amazing football. So I've got to say, Frank Worthington.
Were you in Division 1 at this time?
Well, yeah, what the old Division 1, so like, yeah, the first tier, yeah. So that's two. I'm going to go for Gary Lineker.
Of course.
Simply because of his goals. He's a local lad, and he was at school with me. So we're in the same class and everything. So, but no, all joking apart, I wasn't joking. He was actually. We were at the same school. He could, he went on for. Well, we all know what he went and did. You can't. And he came back and saved the club when we went out of business. He formed a consortium and he saved the club. So for those, two reasons together, the guy's a bit of a hero. There's another side to him, but my solicitor says I can't talk about that either. Coming a bit more up to date, and we spoke about him before, a certain Mr. Mahrez.
Mm-hmm.
He did leave with a sour taste, but you just can't fault what he did for our club, what he's now doing for Manchester City. The partnership that he had with Jamie Vardy, it was just absolutely unreal. It was almost like telepathic, and it was just a joy to watch, and again, one of those bargain basement buys we bought that we sold on for a lot of money, and they keep the club going. As I say, a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth, but like I said earlier, I'd have his children. I really, really would. The guy is amazing.
Yeah.
And
I always remember.
I'm a bit torn with my last one. Because Kante's definitely in there. But again, he left with a bit of a sour taste. But, the guy just, it was the rock in that midfield. But there's nobody else I can go for other than a certain Mr. Vardy.
Yes. I was wondering when he was going to pop up.
Yes. I mean, the guy came from non-league football.
Yeah.
We paid £1 million, most expensive non-league footballer at that time. Possibly still is, I don't know. But, everybody was sort of saying, and the guy had been a failure at other clubs. He'd been let go, and he'd gone down there, and he sums Leicester up, because he didn't give that dream up. He came to Leicester. And I tell you what, he struggled at times to settle in. There was a time when he nearly gave it up. There was a time he had he liked a tipple or two, and he was on the bench. We had David Nugent up front, and he was doing well for us at the time. And there's a great picture of Jamie Vardy and Harry Kane, who was on loan at the time, on Leicester City sub-bench behind Nigel Pearson. And he could have gone to Arsenal. They came in for him to show that money isn't everything. Jamie Vardy is a big fish in a small Leicester City pond. At Arsenal, he would have been just another player, to be fair. It's a bigger club, bigger names. And they wouldn't have played to his style. And I think he was playing for England at the time, and Roy Hodgson was playing him out on the left. That's like, that's like getting David Seaman on and putting him up front. He isn't that player. You know, he plays a certain way. He still managed to get some England goals, of course, but he stuck with us. And for that, you know, and well, he's got the golden boot. Like I say, he scored for England. I just can't say enough about him. Can I actually just go back as well? And I do apologise for this because I wasn't thinking at the time. But you know, you said about the favourite games.
Yeah.
Can I sneak a third one in?
Sure.
Go on. It was away, Southampton, on a wet Friday night. 10 minutes in, they had a player sent off, and we got our first goal. We went in at half-time 5-0 up, and I turned to my son, who was with me again at the time, and his girlfriend, and I went, you know what? This is one of those games. Because first of all, when they got a player sent off, I said, that's going to be a tough game to win now. It's always tough to play 10 players. Yeah. 5-0 up at half-time, went, second half will be boring. I said, you know, we're 5-0 ahead now. We'll just sort of, you know, knock it around. And, of course, we won 9-0. and where we were so close to the Southampton fans. And funnily enough, Southampton's next game was against Man City last season. And you were just sort of, you know, they were worried. I forgot about that game. Yeah, that was another I was there moment.
You were at the 9-0?
Yes.
That's quite. You were there. You were in history then.
Yes, part of history. And the good thing about that was as well, I mean, the Southampton fans were great. You know, I know the team's lost 9-0, but they were singing along, you know, we're only going to lose 8-0. We're only going to, you know, it was just one of those. And on the 60th minute, we had a bit of a tribute to our chairman. And the club had put sort of scarves on all the away seats, white, you know, forever in our hearts scarves for the chairman. And on the 60th minute, we just sort of literally sang for about 10 minutes for the chairman, and hairs on my neck are going up now or thinking about it. You know, it was for that reason and the 9-0. I'm going to put that actually higher than the Man United game.
I've just got some very breaking news from Sky Sports. Crystal Palace announced Frank Lampard will replace Roy Hodgson at the end of the season.
Yeah, I thought I told you, didn't I?
Yeah,
they've been talking about it on Talk Sport all morning, you know.
So yeah, it's official.
It's a good fit for that.
Yeah.
It's a good move for Lampard. I think it's the right fit for him.
Let's be honest with you. It's his second job in the Premier League. He's still in the Premier League. If he gets Palace to 9th or 10th next season, they're going to be happy. There's not going to be the pressure that he was under at Chelsea.
No, definitely.
But like Ben, I agree with you, Ben. Totally, they're a good fit.
Just thought I'd share that I just saw the Sky Sports tweet.
Breaking news!
On Sky Sports.
Ben, have you got a question?
Yeah. Do you have any superstitions before games?
Not really. No. Sometimes I will try and wear the same colour shirt as the team are playing in. With this season, I've got all 3 shirts, and I've got this on because this is what we're playing in on Saturday. But no. You know, I mean, I remember one time I didn't do that, and then at half time I went and changed because we were losing. We still lost, so it didn't make any difference. But no real superstitions, no.
We've had some funny answers from that, to be fair.
I can imagine.
Kind of touched on this, but how's the season gone for you so far, in your opinion?
I can't say any. I mean, you know, we're third in the league. Sorry, Tom, but we're third in the league. We're in an FA Cup final. How do you think it's gone? I mean, you know, it's been a fantastic season, and as fans, we always want more. You know, you finish fourth, you want third. You finish third, you want second.
Yeah.
But you know, last year, a lot of Leicester fans were a bit peed off because you know we dropped out at the last minute, and I think the word that I would use was disappointed because, like I say, fifth at that time was still good for us, and we would have bitten your hand off, you know, and you know it's been a bit squeaky bum at times. We've had some poor performances, like I say Newcastle, but other teams have as well. We've had some good results. Sorry, Ben, but Man City, you know.
We won the return game.
You did. We'll let you have that one. In fairness, I think it was your first game, to be honest with you, because of the way the season started. So, and you hadn't got a decent defence for that game, and we did get 3 penalties.
I mean, yeah, I think we played Wolves the first game, 1-3-1. Then we played you, lost 5-2, and then 2 days later we signed Ruben Diaz.
Yes.
So,
yeah. But you did press the self-destruct button. So it's been, you know, I mean, I'm looking here. I said at the start, we've lost 10 games this season. You know, if we hadn't lost against, you know, Fulham, we were bottom when Fulham beat us, they were bottom. West Ham beat us. And at the time, we didn't realise how good West Ham were going to be this season because you're basing it on last season because it was very early on.
Yeah.
But of course, they're better than I think, you know, anybody gave credit for this season. But, yeah, we've had some stinkers in there, but you know, sometimes we've watched like the Man United in the quarterfinals, and you think this is Leicester, you know, at a point really of pinching yourself, becoming self-harm. But yeah, I mean, we're living the dream. We're absolutely living the dream, and we've got fantastic owners that has been shown by, you know, what's gone on recently with, you know, the big six. And you know, the other day we got a box through and there was like a poster and a letter from the chairman and a badge and face paint in it. Didn't expect it, just we all got one free of charge. You know, it's it's just great. It's a great time to be a Leicester fan, and I'm so glad that I'm still around to share these times with my son.
It's a bit like, did you see what Ajax did with their trophy?
Oh yeah, they've
won the
melted
league
it down.
and they melted it down into stars and have given these stars made a trophy to the season ticket holders.
Really? Oh wow!
Because I think they still paid for their season tickets this season or something.
Yeah,
keep the club
right.
afloat.
We might do that with the FA Cup then. Yeah, in my dreams.
So is your son quite a big Leicester fan as well then?
Yeah, he wasn't. The thing was, I've got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. The second boy just isn't into football at all. I tried, but it wasn't for him. The girls are kind of, they'll follow it because they know I'm into it and they'll ask me questions about it, but they're not football fans. One of them is going out with somebody who's not into football either. So, and the other one's going out with an Arsenal fan. So he's not into football either, you know. But my eldest son was born in Burnley, as I lived in Burnley for 20 odd years. And I said to him at the time, I said, look, you know, you've got a choice here, because he was getting into football. I said, you can support Leicester City because I do, and you support it because I'm your dad and you want to support Leicester. If you want to support Burnley, because it's your home team, it's where you've been born, all your friends in there will, you know, your school will support Burnley, I'll understand. And I've no problem with that whatsoever. What you're not doing is, no disrespect, supporting Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal because they're on the telly all the time. I said, that isn't happening. And I remember we were playing Burnley and it was at Leicester. So I hadn't gone and it was on the radio and Leicester scored. And my son he just looked at me and he just went, yes. And I thought, I've got him. so yeah, he's coming round on Saturday. He's a huge Leicester fan.
Cool. So what do you think the future of Leicester will be like?
To quote an advert, the future's bright, the future's blue. You know, I mean,
Certainly is blue all over the country.
Dark blue. I would say dark blue, not this wishy-washy blue that looks like it's the colours run.
I see. All right.
Yeah, we're dark blue as well. Thank you.
Exactly. No, we're Leicester. We've come from. We had 120, 130 years now when. The biggest thing we'd won up until recently was the League Cup. We managed to do the Premier League. We've got owners there that are fantastic, like we've touched on. I don't agree with saying that we're going to end up being a top 6 club, because whatever happens, the media will always call Arsenal and Tottenham this season. They're still doing it. I mean, they're nowhere near the top 6, but they're still classed as top 6 clubs.
I mean, maybe not.
What I want Leicester to do is make that top 6. I think they'll make it a top 7. And maybe you'll get West Ham, maybe you get Everton making it a top 8, a top 9. I don't think we're going to say they're going to be a top 4 season in, season out. But then, Liverpool weren't, Arsenal aren't, Tottenham aren't. But, if we can be, every season be up there fighting for European football, I think we will. The big decision for Leicester, to be honest with you, is what will happen if and when Brendan goes. That will be the huge decision for them. They got Ranieri in, and I was one of the few that actually said it was a good move. It's on the internet, so I can prove that I did say that. We made a couple of mistakes after that. He's got Rodgers in, which is amazing. But I remember when we had Martin O'Neill and we let Martin O'Neill go and we replaced him with Peter Taylor, and the company, the club got relegated within 2 seasons and went bust. So it's getting, look at Man United after this, after Ferguson retired. It's all about getting the right decision, and that will determine where we go from here on in, and whether we are building or whether we just collapse if and when Rodgers goes. But no, I think we're going to be top 7 or 8 regularly now.
I mean, no disrespect to Tottenham, but their last trophy was 2008. So you won something more recently than Tottenham.
Yeah,
So.
I can remember them beating us at Wembley in the League Cup in '98 as well. I mean. But they'll always be seen as this big club, and I think it's wrong because, like I say, if you go far enough back, Leeds were a big club in their day. They were the Manchester City of their day. Liverpool are there, and if you go further back, Bolton Wanderers, when it was all first formed, they were winning everything. Blackpool, even with Stanley Matthews, these clubs have as much right to be known as top clubs as you guys there.
Definitely.
That's me rant over.
No, I do agree. It's kind of this, which is more of a recent thing, this top 6 thing.
Yeah.
Certainly is. But
starting off with sort of the top 4, which was Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and then Tottenham and City joined it.
Let's be honest with you, and I'm not going to disrespect for you here, but Man City before Sheikh Mansour, where the hell were you? You were winning trophies regularly. Chelsea, Chelsea before Ken Bates, who sold to Abramovich. You were down in the second tier.
I'd say mid to late 90s we were top. At the top.
I mean,
but not regularly, you had some very good seasons with Peter Osgood and that sort of period, and Benetti in goal and what have you, but it wasn't consistent.
No,
I mean, for City, our golden period was late 60s, early 70s, and we were as recent as I think it was in the early 90s. We were in the 3rd division.
Yeah, well, we played, didn't we? We played each other.
Yeah. So and it was like you say. I think early noughties we got promotion to the Prem and got relegated, and then got promotion back. So you know, it's
It is football. We all dream of that, of those owners coming in and making the difference. And there's some good owners out there, and there's some bloody awful owners out there. And you know, pays your money, you takes your chance, I guess, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. But we're going to move away from football for a short segment. Ask you some questions about YouTube and kind of what your social media career so far. What event or person inspired you to get into YouTube?
YouTube's only just been recently, to be honest with you. Started, and it's embarrassing to actually say, I might have to take it down because it's embarrassing to see that it's still up there. But my first ever YouTube video was for the last pre-season game. We did a post-match after Birmingham, and my God, it's embarrassing. You know, the camera quality, the microphone quality, my background, it was just awful. But I got doing Leicester Till I Die as a group, if you like, when I left Leicester. So and Sean got into it. So it's been going now about 15 years, I'd say. And it started out as a blog, on a guest blog on a blog site, Silver Fox. And then I decided that I could have my own blog because I was writing for him every week. And I sort of said, like, mate, I'm going to sort of branch out on my own. And he was, yeah, fine, good luck with it and what have you. So I did that. He then couldn't carry on with his blog, and his blog was quite big. So I took that Silver Fox one over, amalgamated the two together, made it into a Facebook, Twitter. We got an Instagram. And then I'd been helping out on other Leicester fan shows, popping on there every now and again. And I stopped working, and like the rest of us, were stuck inside, couldn't go out. And I joke that, and I'm not joking, but I try and joke that because I'm off with depression at the moment, and I say that probably the worst thing I could do is a YouTube channel about Leicester City to help with depression. But you know, that was it was COVID. We were stuck inside. What is there to do? And you know, I do 3 or 4 shows a week now, and it keeps me going. You know, but it was the fact that I was doing it for somebody else, and I thought, I'd never had quite the self-confidence to put myself sort of in front of the camera. But I thought, you know, I was, you know, like I say, we're all stuck inside. Thought, why not? Started it, and it's kind of grown from there.
Fair enough. It's almost older than us.
Yeah, we're both quite new to it, aren't we? You know, and, still growing. We're not up there. I mean, there's some big, you know. I think everybody, in fairness, we all got inspired a little bit by the Big Daddy, the Mall Arsenal Fan TV. You know, that's what kicked it all off, I think. And you know, and this year, because of the fact that everybody's in, it's just gone mad.
Yeah,
you know. Just had, you know, everybody is doing it, and I don't blame them. Good luck to everybody. There's room out there for loads of fan clubs for every team. But I think, you know, the fact that we've all been stuck inside and not been able to go out has certainly sort of led to that.
Massively did. I mean, that's kind of the main reason why we started this. So,
yeah,
managed to persuade Ben.
Pardon?
Managed to persuade you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was Kieran who asked me, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to find a host, and he suggested you. So, and the rest is history.
It is difficult sometimes to get people, because a lot of people don't want to come on camera.
I've had that before. Yeah.
I see, like Tom now, he's a bit embarrassed.
No,
he's a Chelsea fan, wouldn't you be?
Ooh, wow. Shots fired.
He'll get his own back on Saturday, I'll tell you.
That's the end of the podcast.
Hey, he's on mine tonight, so he'll be having a few digs at me, I'm sure.
So, is this your first channel, or have you had others in the past, or just the blogs that you've been doing in the past?
I played about with it before. because we were struggling to get a channel for the Leicester Till I Die that I hadn't used at some point. But this is the first serious channel. There is still another Leicester Till I Die one out there with about 5 or 6 videos that I made, and could never publish because it included music that I wasn't allowed to use and all that sort of stuff. But no, this is the first serious thing I've done with it. Yes.
Cool. Fair enough. What's your favorite type of video to do, and what is your favorite video of all time?
Favorite Leicester video or
just on your channel?
My favorite channel.
No. Like what's
your favorite type of video to you on your channel?
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you. Okay. I do quite a few. I do on a Tuesday. I do a football show, which is just a general open forum. We do specials on those days. So like, the 5th anniversary of us winning the league, the anniversary of the chairman's death, we'll do player of the season, team so far. So that's, like I say, just an open forum, and then people, if they come on, can just ask what they want. We did a European show when we were in Europe. Obviously that's coming to an end. We do an opposition show like the one we're doing tonight with Tom and Anik, who is another Chelsea fan. I like those, and they're probably my favourite. And doing this sort of thing because it's nice to talk to fans of other clubs. And sorry, my phone's going off again. So that's my daughter this time. Because it's nice to have a bit of banter and have a laugh and a joke without sort of, I want to knock your block off. And so I do enjoy the opposition show. I used to do a written version on the website, but I just do the one on screen now. Then we do a pre-match show when the team's been announced, and the post-match show, which is probably our most popular one, depending on whether we win or lose, depends on how many people. Sorry, she won't get the message. Right, that was Brendan. Wants to know what team I recommend for the cup final. So yeah, we did the post-match show, which is, I say, probably our most watched one. But I do enjoy. The one I enjoy doing most is the opposition one.
Yes, I mean, I think you sort of touched on it, but is so. What's your favorite thing about doing YouTube? Would you say it's the rival fan?
What I enjoy. If you've you've been on the show, haven't you? But I've got like the videos, the introduction videos, the graphics. I love pottering about doing that. I mean, I don't sleep at the moment. I'm sort of tend to sort of be awake all night and doze during the day because of so maybe being off and what have you. And quite often 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing graphics for the show. And I love doing that bit. And I can bring graphics in because I think it's rather than just for me sitting there and talking, I like to introduce that sort of thing. And my shows are live when I do them, so I've got to have them ready to go, which is why there's so many cock-ups on it. But like I say, as shows go, it is the opposition one. I do like that one.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to us. Is like quite enjoy just doing chatting to other people. I mean, that's literally what the Blue. Well, this part of our channel, the Blue Podcast, is purely chatting to other people.
And fans, actually, quite a few fans like to see what other fans think of the club.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's. I think other people have said it before, where it's sort of when it's nice, obviously, speaking to fans of your club. But it gives you a different perspective when you're talking to fans of other clubs.
Definitely. You don't know, like we're talking with Tom about, you took Frank Lampard on at Chelsea, you sacked him. We have an idea looking in as to what happened, but we don't follow your club week in, week out. We don't know what his decisions are like, what he's like as a manager. and it's it is nice to find these things out.
No, yeah, I agree, and a lot of I've almost learned a lot more doing this than I probably would have done about football.
Yes, I mean I'm not a great. I can talk to you all day about Leicester, and our real players off left, right, and centre. But if you ask me, what's Manchester City's back four, or what's Chelsea's midfield, apart from Kante, I would really struggle because I don't follow other teams enough. The question I hate. So if you've got this on your sheet, please cross it off. Is what players do you fear from our team? Because I've got to be honest with you, I'm a Leicester fan. I don't really, other than seeing bits on the news and online and the league table, I don't know that much about football generally. So it is nice to hear other fans. And on these sort of things, there's good lads. There's not usually not any dickheads anyway.
Usually.
Well, yeah, unless there's a bit of drink going round, Tom.
Yes, some of our live shows.
Yes,
couple drinkies. Looking back at your YouTube career so far, is there anything you do differently?
Probably not, to be honest with you, because you've all got to start somewhere. And when I did that, because of the sort of person I am, if I'd thought about it for too long, as I had done up until that point, I would have just put it off because I didn't think enough of myself to be able to sit here and do it. So within a week, I'd got a few people that I knew that would come on and do the guest bits with me and what have you. And I'd actually asked a few other people that were doing shows whether they wanted to merge, and they said no. So it was a case of starting from scratch. And there were, like I say, very, very poor shows at the start with the sound and everything. But I took the plunge. It was a case of sink or swim. If you see those first few videos, you probably would believe we were sinking. And me and Brad, what a first show that was. Discussing a pre-season friendly played at a university between Leicester and Birmingham. How we actually had much to talk about for an hour was anybody's guess. But the way I do it is I have sort of guests on, if you like, as I've got sort of a set of three regular presenters who are really, really good, and they each do a show. So I've got one that does the football show, one that does the preview show, and one that does the pre-match, and then one that does the post-match. And then I've got a couple of sort of floaters that sort of stand in if somebody's sort of off or something. But they very much are. I'm kind of like the Michael Parkinson character, if you like. I will be sat there, and I will, like you guys are, I'll be asking the questions, and they come back with the knowledgeable answers. And that seems to work very well. It seems to look good, and I certainly couldn't do what them. So a shout out to Josh, Brad, and Craig. They are great with me. They don't do the opposition view. That's just me and the other fans. But yeah, I couldn't do it without them, and they are they're really good.
Fair enough. I mean, Brad's now part of the prediction group now as well. So
he is. He likes that. So yeah, that's why I added him in. And I tell you, Brad's. I say he's my moderator in YouTube. He's my moderator. He moderates my Facebook group, and he stands in for me on a lot of videos because obviously, the more successful you are, especially this season, with us not being able to go to the grounds, we're doing a lot of these. I mean, the other day I was actually down, I think, for doing 5 shows in a day, and I just couldn't do. I mean, time wise, I could do it, but physically, I couldn't do it.
I think the most we've done is 2. Well, we once did 4 podcasts in a week, and we were stressed out after that.
I mean, it is the case that it's easier doing it from this side because I don't have to worry about doing graphics or uploading videos or anything. But he will stand in for me and do and do a show if I need to. So Brad, who say he's joined the prediction group, and he knows his stuff. He knows a lot about football, not just about Leicester.
So that would be it's good. I mean, we're currently just kind of building that group out just for mainly next season, along with our. It's going to be kind of running alongside our FPL league we're going to do, which has a prize for the winner as well, which we've mentioned a couple of times.
I think I should have got a prize for my first game, getting the score spot on. To be honest with you, but
if we did that though, Chris, I think we'd have given out about 5 to 6, 7 prizes. To be honest,
that many. God.
Yeah, no, it's surprising the amount of people that will do their first prediction and then get it right. I think we've had about, including you, 3 in the last week.
I don't mind doing that, to be honest with you, because you've just got to say what the score is going to be, and I do that myself. With with the ex-players as well, so I'll just duplicate whatever obviously I predict for that. What I can't be doing with is the fantasy leagues, because I haven't got time, because I'll be there every week. Do I drop him? Do I pick him? And I just can't be bothered. I did it one season and it just took over my life, But now I'm trying to do all this at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of our mates are really into the FPL, so.
Yeah, Brad is, to be honest with you, and Melina. I think you know Melina, don't you? She is as well, but just not for me.
So we're looking forward to the next season because it's you get a piece of merch if you win of any choice. So
right,
something for our fans and friends to look forward to anyway. Because we came up with the idea because we noticed this season out of all of them. Normally, with FPL, you kind of stop doing it about mid-season. This is the longest any of us have ever been going on.
I think that's because of the way the season's been this year. I mean, I'm going to be very interested next season to see what happens to the watch-alongs.
Fair.
Because I think quite possibly we will see the death of the watch-along next season because the fans will be back at the grounds.
True. Possible.
I've only ever done 2 watch-alongs and
we've only done 3 or 4, I think.
To do, because I'm the guy I'm doing it with. We're not together, and he's sort of 2 minutes ahead of me or something. And the following week I was 2 minutes ahead of him. So it just, I tried a couple, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. But like I said, I think once the fans get back into the ground, we might see the slow demise of the watch along.
Fair enough. We got one last question.
Yeah. What are your future goals with your channel?
I want to get it to 1,000 followers. I'd like, obviously, then if I'm getting enough hours views, I will hopefully then get monetized, and maybe say not enough maybe to live on, but enough to sort of keep me insider.
Fair enough.
And I don't think I've moved very, very quickly. Like I say, this season from where I started to where I am now. I don't think there's a lot more that I can do. I mean, next season we will have, touch wood, a European show coming back. So you've literally got 5 shows a week. It's nice to sit down and watch some Netflix sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how you could do 5 shows a week personally.
To be honest with you, we can talk football all day. I can.
Yeah.
Football fans. I mean, I went to Norway last year, or not last year, the year before now, on holiday, and I was inside the Arctic Circle looking at the Northern Lights, and somebody was started, and I was like, an hour's drive into the centre of Norway, miles from anywhere at 12 o'clock at night. And this guy starts shouting, "Oh, Leicester City, Leicester City." And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? And I'd got a Leicester scarf on because it was cold. And this local Norwegian guy, "Oh, Leicester, you won the league," and all this. And it is it's the language of the world, football.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it. Well, look how long this show's gone on for. As an example. No. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
So it is very easy. I couldn't do it all on my own. This is why I've got co-hosts, but yeah, at the moment, as with the way things are, it's kept me going.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I remember. I've got to go in a minute, but I remember the season you won the league, the game you played against us at the Etihad when you beat us 3-1.
Yeah,
Mahrez and
yes.
Hardy absolutely tore us apart that game. It's ridiculous.
To be honest with you, that season was unbelievable, especially as I was actually at work, sat next to a Tottenham fan. So, all season, and I'm sat there going, "We're Leicester, we're never going to do it," and he's sat there saying, "We're Tottenham, we always make a mess of it." He was right, thankfully. But it was such. I wasn't in the YouTube channel then, but I was still doing the Facebook and the Twitter, and it was just. I'm having to go to my boss and say, "Can I leave an hour early today? The BBC want me on the TV or what?" It was you're doing radio shows from Australia, and 1 week. I was ringing up another blogger saying, "Can you speak to?" I think it was Canadian TV or radio on Thursday. I went, "Well, yes. Can you if you can do this one for me?" And it was just crazy. I was glad for the season to end. To be honest with you, get my life back. Great, yeah. It was a year that I will never forget.
Cool.
Fair enough. Well, that's quite a nice note to leave it on.
I've got to get off now, so
yeah, that's fine. I'll wrap it up without you, Ben.
All right. I'll see you later. All right.
See you later.
Take care, Ben. Congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
We helped you, but still, congratulations.
All right. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, for coming on.
No, it's been a pleasure. I'd wish you all the best, but I don't mean it.
right back at you, mate.
I'm saying it's true, and none of this like, "Oh, let's hope football's the winner." Bollocks. Let's hope Leicester are the winner. I've got my programme, as you can see.
I see, yeah,
behind me there. That came this morning, so a good read between now and then when I'm sat on the toilet. But I do wish you good luck in the Champions League.
Thank you very much. Well, I wish you good luck with your YouTube career and not the FA Cup.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. And I will see you in about 4 hours.
I'm sure I will, yes. In about 4 hours.
I hope the camera's working then. All right, mate.
Do check out Chris, link in the description. Sorry you're not seeing my face today. Wi-Fi's been a bit buggy. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like. Subscribe if you're new around here. Subscribe to Chris as well over at Leicester Till I Die. Fantastic channel. About to be on there later on this evening. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys. Well, I won't see you, but the Golden Show should be tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for the Purple Show as always. Goodbye.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.